Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ferdbird the Nerd with another video game market report for you guys. I got a comic book market report coming down later this week, but I hope you guys all enjoyed your 3-day weekend. But here we are. It's the almost the end of January already into 2025, and I've seen a lot of dips in the video game market, which I thought was really interesting. But a lot of things are still holding true. I think the market's still trying to find its niche, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. I think with a lot of new games coming out as well this year, I kind of did like kind of a little slew of slate of games coming up, especially with Grand Theft Auto 6 coming through. I think you're seeing a little bit of a pickup in like earlier titles, of course, on sequels or just remakes, what have you. And we'll get into it. So I'll stop talking and let's see what's going on. So One Piece Odyssey Deluxe. This is a really cool collector's edition from Japan. $300 for this bad boy on the Switch. If you guys are home gamers and love the Switch, I haven't played this game yet. It's fairly new, from what I understand, early 2020s, I want to say. But $300 isn't a bad price for a very hot character, very hot commodity here. And oh, hey, Cordy, how's it going? And a collector's edition from Japan. From what you can see here, all the Japanese writing there, it's pretty cool. So on to the next. Another One Piece game. I'm really fascinated by these PSP launches. I think, obviously there's rumors about a new PlayStation held or some type of console coming out, I guess the next couple of years or so. And it looks like that makes sense to kind of pair along with your PS5. But looking at the old school PSP and just the reasons it kind of failed, I think the fact that it failed was just basically it was too small. Tiny piece of hardware there, but $250 for the sealed Romance Dawn version, beloved franchise and a dead system. I think it's the perfect investment for $250. You can even find the slat for like 485 to 90 grain, which I don't think is bad, but and I think it presents really well. I'm sticking pretty hard on these system type, not just video games here, but I promise this is the last one. PlayStation 5, VR2, Horizon. Now, I don't know if you guys heard, but this property just got optioned, and with the option news and just the beautiful kind of boxing from PS5, I think they really did if you look at a PS5 versus a PS4, like system or console, what have you, the white just really pops versus the dark blue, I would say. This is a really expensive piece to buy for $400 to $500, but nonetheless, I think if you got the money, and Horizon that takes off, this is going to be a really cool piece to have in your collection. This is probably more geared towards collectors versus investors, but either way, I think it's really easy to find a nice copy of this in a nice grade, or sorry, I should say grade condition. If you're able to grade it, you're probably going to be first to market here, but I think it presents well regardless. And yeah, happy hunting. This is not Grunge Comics. This is Separation Anxiety for the Genesis. I saw this actually in a video game store for I think $30, $39.99 to $300 in CIB, but a sealed 90 VGA went for $7K. I don't think this has to do with any the Venom movie coming out or just Marvel, yada yada. I think it's just purely someone who loved this game a ton. There's not a lot of sealed copies out there, and it's a really high grade for a sealed copy regardless. So Persona Revelations for the PS1. This is for $360 and a sealed version of this. CIB is crazy, but for horror games it makes sense. Sorry, 360, that's not sealed, that's CIB. So this kind of hits the whole PS1 game, horror game. Probably not a lot of copies bought or sold just because horror wasn't really popular with PlayStation except for Resident Evil. It's kind of a smaller studio. Atlas Revelation, I haven't even heard of them before. So yeah, but this one, there's definitely cult following as far as collectors are concerned. I think this is for 360. That's a lot to chew on, especially for CIB. But the market's out there. I haven't seen anything lower for 300 on this game. And a lot of copies are actually in pretty good condition too. So something to think about. A beloved game, Tomb Raider PS1. I think this is a grail for a very mass-produced video game, a beloved video game for that. I remember playing this as a kid, and it was, I don't think I could play this game again just because the graphics are so bad. But talk about a frustrating game. Talk about a super fun game though, with the two guns. When you're going around, $10 to $20 for a CIB. I mean, this is definitely a collector's kind of thing. Like if you just want to, if you're a completionist of like the top genres or titles for PS1, this is up there. It's 90 above score for reviews and stuff. But a 9.4 sealed sold for $2,500 in December. So I don't know if you can find a sealed version of this game, but I can just imagine this only go up in price over the length of time. It's not going to go up huge, but I think this is has so much potential for future titles, for future movies, TV shows, what have you, and it's just a beloved franchise. It made the PlayStation in some respects. Before I get into this one, I just want to say thanks to everyone for watching these shows. I'm trying to put these out weekly, just with time and stuff. But if you guys do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to all your friends, watch them all the way through. It really helps the algorithm and it makes you want to do these shows more often. And we're going to try and come live later on in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. Sorry, I didn't get into it. So Cyberpunk 2077. This is really hard to get in high grade. So these sealed would usually go for about $19 to $20. Now, I know that this game particularly failed just because of all just the bad stuff was going on with kinks in the game. You're going one path and then all of a sudden it just glitches and dies on you. But the PS5 version of this game is pretty fun. It's a great storyline. It has great graphics. The weapons and upgrades in this game are really kind of cool to mess with. If anything, this game was too short, I would say, but I had a great time playing it. I think this long term there's a lot of potential. And for $20 for a buy-in, I don't think that's a bad idea. I'd even go for the PS5 version just because that's the one that everyone's playing. But for $20 sealed, I think it's nice to just have it in your collection and maybe not grade it just because it's really hard to get a high grade in this. But if you like Cyberpunk and you're a fan of it, you go with this. You get the PS4 console. There's also the Xbox console, which I think is actually a lot better than the PS4 console. And there's also the comic book. I just have a stack of them in my collection right now. So back to the next slide. Life is Strange, a 9.8 sold for $166 on this one. There's a weird kind of cult following with this game. I never look into this game. Yeah, I just think it's a great cover as well. And something to talk about. And that's it for the show today. So I think, that's all we have for this week. I'll do a comic book show later this week and just kind of look at the segments. I mean, there's a little bit of a lull in a lot of collections right now. Like a lot of money's moving to other categories like investments, crypto, and kind of moving out of collections right now. There's not a lot of optioned news, fruition type stuff. So I think it's an opportunity to look at just these kind of newer games and just to look at special editions. There's a lot of whatnot shows out there, and you can get opportunities to even buy stuff graded at 9.8 for basically cost or cheaper. So I do appreciate you guys all watching. We'll see you on the next video, and have a great week. Take care. See you next time. Hit the like button, please.